Hey, welcome. Thanks for joining me. How are you doing? I have some new ornaments to show you all from the launch. So I hope you have a little bit of time this Friday evening to come and hang out with me. Happy Friday. So glad we made it through the week. Let me, while that's loading, I'll get my stuff together here. Here we go. Okay. Keyword is set up. It's the word ornament. You can comment it here anytime and get the link to get all the stuff to make those. Hey ladies, how are you? Hopefully it's not buffering for you all. It is buffering for me, so I don't know what's happening. Okay, sorry if it messes up. Alright, this is just white paste. I'm going to paint all of these with a base coat of white, just bright white paste. This is my one that was kind of dry. I did open up a new one to use to like as paste with a squeegee, but I figured I added a bunch of water to this yesterday. I don't know what's going on with my thing, but it's like not wanting to stay connected for some reason. Hopefully Facebook's gonna let me do my video tonight. If it drops, I will come back, okay? Hopefully it won't drop. I don't know why. My Wi-Fi is fine, as far as I can tell. I haven't had issues with it today, so I don't know. Hey Terry, welcome. Yay, lucky you. Oh. Alright. Anyway, tell me what your plans for the weekend are, if any. We don't have any plans around here. I'm hoping that it cannot be raining tomorrow or Sunday so that we can have a fire, because I have a bunch of boxes I need to burn, and there's a big old pile of limbs that have fallen from the trees in our backyard that desperately need to be burned. But every time I want to do it, it's raining. Very aggravating, because I would like to have a burn pile going, you know. And a couple weeks ago I had asked my nephew, you know, I painted this white, but I probably should have painted it brown. Oh well, we'll do brown over it, it'll be fine. And if we need to do something different, we will. I don't know, I wasn't really thinking about that for my reindeer, but that's okay. We're painting all of them white to start, okay? Maybe you'll want to do it differently. I don't know. But I do think a white base coat is always helpful anyways. Just for fun, right? So, anywho, sorry I wasn't here last night. I fully intended to go live, and then my cousin stopped by. Because whenever Ivy broke her leg, we had borrowed my aunt's wheelchair. And when I returned it, I totally forgot to take the legs that go with it over there too, with it. And they needed to use it this weekend. So they had the wheelchair, but not the leg attachment. So she stopped by yesterday to pick that up. And we ended up sitting and talking for hours last night. Not even intentionally. So one of my customers got me this heat tool, and I'm going to try it. It's like, it gets really hot, but it's meant for like all kinds of stuff. You can use it to shrink wrap, you can use it to dry paint, and do other kind of heat projects. Let me get this transfer out of here though, because it might be a little hot for that. But I'm hoping, it doesn't blow very hard, but it is hot. So I'm hoping that it will work just as good, if not better, than my other quick dry tool. And it is fast. All this stuff is dry already. That's neat. It's super hot though, so I'll share a link of that on my Amazon storefront so that y'all can get it if you want it. Hey Tammy, hi Marie, how are you? Welcome, girls. Yeah, hopefully, Sam, it's back. It doesn't seem like it's having issues anymore, so I don't know what's going on with the internet around here. I am going to wax these just a little bit. Hopefully I'm not going to regret my choices tonight, but I don't know that I necessarily need to wax these, but I'm going to anyway, okay? I don't know. We're going to figure it out together. So, y'all, I was watching an old video last night. Terry, that video that you were asking me for, I went ahead and watched it, and it was from like, it had to have been from 2 years ago. I don't even remember when I did that mummy project. It was here in this house, so it had to have been in the last like 2.5 years. But man, I can really see how much weight I've lost in the videos. It just, on a side-by-side comparison like that, it's pretty crazy seeing that. So I did cut this. I didn't cut the transfer or the backer sheet. I just cut the transfer itself, which makes it easier because then I don't have a bunch of little pieces. But I went ahead and did that. I just cut it along the cut lines before I started to make my life a little easier, you know? And then I'm going to just line this up. So these are already, I've got ornament holes put in them for you. The ornament holes are like the little hanging holes are pretty small though. So you're going to need, you probably, if you do ribbon with these, it will have to be very thin ribbon, okay? Like extremely thin. Ribbon will work, but you'll have to use really, really small ribbon. Now, I've got several things happening here. So I have a hat. I want to do that red, okay? And then his body's going to be black, and the feet are going to be black. And then we'll do a color for this gift in the middle. And we need a color for the eyes and the cheeks, okay? Now, here's my idea, all right? I have a paint pen here, and I want to try and use it on the cheeks and on the eyes, and even on the little mouth, or like the beak, okay? So I have a yellow right here that we'll use for that. So I'm going to just start at the top so that I can do a paste and pull, okay? This is cherry paste. If you comment the word ornament, you'll get the link to get all the stuff from my website and the link to the cutouts, okay? On my Etsy. All right, there we go. Now, whenever I do this, I definitely want to pull this up as I go so that I'm not letting my paste dry out in the transfer. Now, my problem is going to be that I do have some squeegees over here, so I'm going to not clean that one repeatedly. This is Shimmer Shadow. We're going to use it for the penguin because, you know, I love a shimmer shadow, and any excuse to use a shimmer shadow, I'm taking it. So, we'll do that all the way around, and then we'll come back and do the gift in the center. I'm actually thinking about maybe using a marker on the gift too, and giving that a try. I know it works because we tried it before with those fabric markers, and so I'm pretty sure paint markers would work the same. Now, I don't know that I would want to use something like a Posca pen because it's so, the paint on those is so much more runny, but these brush markers I think would be absolute perfection for that. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do, is if I use a paint marker, it will be the brush style ones. In fact, I can get his eyes with the shimmer shadow. Okay, so I'm going to set that to the side because I think I'm going to need it again for my other stuff. Now, you know, I could try a different color for this. I think I'm going to do green. This green marker, we're going to try it and just color it. I don't know if this was going to work or not. We're going to find out. I should have pulled this up already, but I didn't. So let's go ahead and do that before we have a problem. Yeah, that didn't work. Okay, so I do have teal here that I can use. So I'll do that with teal in on the thing. So unfortunately that seems to have been a fail. Which is interesting because the fabric markers worked. So I'm wondering if maybe it's because I waxed. And why that didn't really work very well. But hopefully my paste will stick. Now, and then I'm gonna need to do the cheeks. So I'll just do that with this cherry. Oh gosh. And the beak, now the beak is going to be difficult because I am going to try to do it with the yellow and then I'll come back and define that with the yellow if I need to. It's not great for my little gift. My gift is kind of, it bled a lot. But the beak was okay just to get an outline. So, I mean, as much as that I wanted that to work, it really didn't do what I wanted. I did get a little bit of red over here, so I'm just going to try and touch this up a little bit. I need like a really, really thin brush. It literally is just like one little scratch mark, but there's my little penguin. I think it's pretty cute. Regardless of the gift situation, okay? Now, maybe a different paint marker might work. I don't know. But now that makes me wonder why those fabric markers work so well. Maybe because the fabric didn't let it run? I don't know. I'm unsure. Anywho, I did just fuzz this over there, and I'll just stick it to my shirt again to get a little bit of fuzz. This guy has a lot of silk screen, so I'm not super concerned with it. Pulling up my paste that I have down already. Get that thing lined up, and then we'll work again from top to bottom. We'll do the gift on this one in teal because I have it out and it's easy. And then we'll pull this up before we move on. Now, his gloves and boots are going to need to be black. And so we'll use shimmer shadow for that. So pull that up and then just push it right back down. And, oof, this is going to be, you know, I have other tools at my disposal. Why I don't grab for them, I don't know, but there we go. And I think I'll use red, I think, around the little fur parts on his suit. That's all white, but it's underneath, so I don't need to use paste on it. But go ahead and get his boots and his other hand over here. There we go. All right, and then we'll just pull those parts up and then restick them where we didn't work yet, okay? And then the suit should be fairly simple. We'll start with the hat and move down from there. You go ahead and pull that part up around the space, or on the hat, so that I can not have to worry about it. Now, on the buckle, I'm tempted to just do the buckle red. I do have a picture here of how they did it. I just want to look. They probably did a million colors. And that stresses me out on him. Yeah, they did it with yellow. You know, I could probably try that marker. That yellow marker did work pretty well. Which is interesting why the yellow marker worked fine, but the green one was not wanting to play nice. Now, I do want to warn you, if you use markers, make sure that you wash your transfer as soon as you can. Don't let it linger, okay? Because you don't want to have that dry in your transfer and then never be able to get it out. I'm looking over here. I know I have this other gold, and I know I said I didn't want to use a Posca pen, but I'm gonna try it. I don't know if this is going to be successful or not, but we'll see. So that he can have a gold buckle. There. Give it a try. You know, the worst that we can do is just fail and not try, you know? It's not the worst thing I've ever seen. I don't recommend it, though. Not super happy with how that turned out, but that's okay. And then the last thing is his face. Now, I saved this for last because it was going to be the most difficult part for me. And, you know, I save the hardest stuff for last. Usually I try to anyway. Now, get that in there with Dune, okay? And then, of course, we'll come back in and give him some jolly cheeks. I do have this kind of grayish color, though, and I was thinking that I could add these little beard lines in here with that. I'm hoping this doesn't make a mess. Alright, let's just try it. We'll see. It's not terrible. It did bleed a little bit, but it is beard hair, so it's not the worst thing that I've ever seen. Now, what I want to do is color in this buckle so that it wasn't supposed to be colored in, but because it kind of bled in, might as well, right? So there's my Santa. He's not the worst. He looks pretty good, actually. The cherry paste really looks amazing on him, and the teal I really like for the gift. Now, for the reindeer, fuzz that transfer a little bit. It doesn't need a ton of fuzzing. It's mainly silkscreen. Most of this guy, or yeah, I guess it's Rudolph, is going to be brown, okay? And we'll do teal for his little scarf. I am going to clean this, though, because I think, oh, I do have my little elf girl left, but I can use this for her, too. So I'm going to do... I'm using espresso for the deer's body. And then, darn it, I should have done his feet first. Black for that shimmer shadow for his feet. And then we'll get his whole body and then, or like the lower body here. And then pull this up. Now you might want to cut a squeegee, a mini squeegee in half to do this part, and little details like this. And I did include in the link from my website the 12-pack of mini squeegees, because it's super helpful to have those, and then you can just cut them if you need to. Okay, now I want to do his scarf, and I'm going to kind of have a thicker, it's going to be a little bit thicker here just because it's kind of hard to really get in there. So, doing the best I can here. Okay. Anywho, hey Steph, how are you? Hey Amy, welcome. All right, that's looking really good. So, last thing is his head and his antlers. We're going to do all of that with this espresso. And then his nose, of course, has got to be cherry red. You could, of course, do black if you wanted to, but it sure does look like it's shining. So I think this is Rudolph. Now, if you wanted to make multiples of these and just have one Rudolph and the rest of them be regular reindeers, you could totally do that too. But I think this is Rudolph with the shiny nose situation going on. All right, there we go. I love it. It's good. Loving that. Set that to the side, and then hi Susan, thank you. I'm glad you like these. Now, last one is this little elf girl. If I can get that off the my sheet, and fuzz it once in my shirt. Just very little sticky here, so I don't want to add too much fuzz to it. Sorry y'all, my nose is itchy. Okay, now I'm going to start at the top with, we're going to do her whole outfit in teal. Okay, and it looks like she needs some red hair. They're really testing my ability here, though. I swear. Okay. This is difficult. I do have my detail tool that I can use, though, so I will do that for her hair. I'm going to just clean it. Get a little bit of that cherry paste. And I'm just going to dot it in. Now, I'm hoping I'm not going to regret this choice, since I still have her face to do. Hopefully I don't smudge it into her face. And then we gotta switch this up again. Use the same squeegee that we used for the espresso for the dune for her face. And of course we do need to come back with some, oh, I think that's hair behind her too, darn it. We're gonna have to come back with some blush here in a minute to give her a rosy cheek, but we need to do that for Santa too, so we'll do that in just a second. There we go. Pretty good for using a large squeegee on that. And then my detail tool with the red. I would like to try and scrape some of this paste up though, because it did leave quite a bit behind there on her face and makes it look kind of lumpy. There, that's way better. Okay, so on the face, you definitely need to scrape it, okay? You can't just lay it on there. Now, for the hair, I'm not really worried about it because it's okay if it's textured looking, but not on her face, okay? And then her whole suit, we're gonna do teal, okay? And she has a buckle too, just like Santa's buckle, so I think I might do the same thing with that gold marker. Y'all, use your tools. They're really cute, right? You can comment ornament to grab these for yourself and make them for your tree. Y'all, I started our, so I don't know if I told y'all, I think I told y'all. Last year we decided to get permanent Christmas lights installed on our house. And you can change the color of them to any color that you like. So we have purple and orange lights on right now outside for Halloween. I love it. It is making me so excited for Christmas. I cannot wait to put up my tree this year and get all that going and like everything. I'm so excited. My cousin was here yesterday and I told her, you know, I think we're probably gonna host Christmas here for my mom's family again, like we did the first year that we lived here. Last year we were having a little bit of a construction nightmare going on around here because we had our roof replaced and we had a leak and had to have all that stuff fixed, and so we didn't have anyone here for Christmas because everything was like just a hot mess around here. So this year I want to. I didn't even put up my tree last year, which was so sad because I got this awesome tree from Michael's whenever we first moved into this house. I haven't had a decent tree because at our old house I didn't have a good place to put a nice big tree. We had a little house and it was just too small to have a big tree. Oh no. Hopefully I'm gonna come back. Okay. On outside and all that stuff. Anyway, I apologize. My thing keeps on cutting out for some reason. But we're about done here anyways. These are the ornaments. I'm going to dry them really quick. Or make sure they're all dry. I'm sure Santa and this penguin are probably dry. But for sure she's not. I'm loving this thing. Shirley, if you're watching, thank you for this dryer. It works really good. It does get super hot though, so just keep that in mind because it will probably melt any wax that you put on your projects. I used to have another dryer that would get so hot that it would just melt wax really bad. But this thing is drying this paste like nobody's business. Oh gosh. Okay, and then I'm going to just get my little blusher thing out for my Santa and for this little girl. If I can figure out, okay, here we go. Just a little, okay? And I certainly don't want Santa to look like he's had too much to drink, so let's give him a little bit of a blush, not like red face, okay? But I think that's pretty good for her. And then the other thing that I want to do is I have this string, and I'm hoping that the string's going to be good. I want to do those little loops again. So the little ties, and I'm thinking that this string might work really well for that. So I have my spray bottle. You can use anything that's round, okay, with a flat. It has to have a flat base, though. It can't be like a water bottle, because this will get stuck on a water bottle, and then you won't be able to get it off, and it's a real pain. Okay, I'm going to just tie a little bow, just like that, okay? And however big this is how big your loop's going to be, so just keep that in mind. You could make it looser if you wanted to, okay? But there's my loop. Hopefully this is going to fit through this hole. I don't know. We're going to try it, and if not, then we're just going to have to tie it normal. But I really like to do my... Yeah, that's not going to work. That's okay. Oops. That's alright. So the holes are a little bit too small for that purpose, but this does work, and then we can just tie it, and I can use about half of that or less. Aren't they cute? So yeah, comment ornament to go grab these off of my Etsy. I sure appreciate y'all watching tonight and hanging out with me. Sorry I wasn't here last night. I will see you tomorrow though. Okay, there's our first one with the gold. I'm going to alternate because I have this green and white and red one too. So I was thinking about doing the gold for this little penguin. Even though the red, white, and green would work nicely for this one too, I figured that we'd do a couple of each. Just like that. Just tie it. And then you can trim the strings, of course, if you want to. But I don't even particularly care about doing that. This part doesn't really matter to me. I got those at Hobby Lobby, by the way, in the Christmas section. I'm sure they were on sale the last time I was there. I think the ribbon in the holiday section was on sale when I was there the last time. Anyways, there we go. Get that through there, and I'm just tying one simple knot, nothing crazy, okay? I could have probably separated this into individual strands maybe, and did my little loop-de thing. Oh, that one's a little bit smaller. It could probably still fit on the branch, but it's a little bit smaller. I need to do a longer this time. Just get a little bit of glue on there to just help send that through that hole without making it fray. Or allowing it to fray, I should say. I need to make these holes just a little bit bigger. There we go. So that you can use ribbon if you wanted to. But you could also take a punch, like the Power Punch from Chalk, and punch that hole a little bit bigger if you want to, okay? It does work on these cutouts. I think I am going to trim this just to not make it look so crazy. And now I have some new ornaments to put on my tree. I think I have some events coming up here for my nail business, so maybe I will use these on my Christmas tree, because I always have a Christmas tree this time of year whenever I do my events. Anyways, let me know what you think. I hope you love these. Comment ornament right now and go grab the cutouts so that you can make your own. Okay? Good night. Love you all. Bye.